All right, this is Skeptic Minds, episode 1 with Colton Winters and
Brock Epperson.
my man. So this is going to be a podcast kind of about uh, philosophy and psychology. Um, Perhaps more so philosophy coming from me, more psychology coming from Brock. And it's largely going to be a learning process where we definitely don't know everything. Obviously, nobody probably does, but it's kind of just going to be a journey to learn and experience things.
Yeah, hopefully discover flaws in our own thinking. So with that being said, we'd like to kind of disclose that neither of us have a formal education in either of these fields. Like Colton said, it's just about learning and trying to figure out new things. Hopefully, interview some cool people, to share our ideas. And yeah, if you guys ever point out or notice any flaws in our thinking, we're happy to hear it, because we realize we're by no means completely perfect in our thinking. So, yeah,
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So where do you kind of want to start? With fundamental philosophy or psychology?
why don't we start with philosophy?
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. I feel like both of us are really interested in philosophy, so
For sure.
probably have a lot more overlapping in that. And even I don't know how deeply necessarily we want to get into psychology. I don't know. They I think cover important things, but
Mhm.
I don't know how many specific psychologists we need to bring up, or I don't know. We'll see as we go.
For sure.
See how much interesting stuff I find in my Psych 1010 class.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's I think an important thing to mention is
Oh, yeah.
you're going to school for psychology.
So about that formal degree, have no formal education right now, but that's what I'm trying to do. In my first year pursuing psychology, trying to get eventually my PhD. But yeah, that's probably 8 years out. So yeah, hopefully gonna have this podcast in 8 years though. Be able to call each other doctors. That's what we were joking about last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to we'll have an 8 years podcast number. Who fucking knows? How many weeks are there? 8 times 52 is 400, and
I think it's incalculable.
oh yeah, because there's 52 and a half. Oh, because leap years.
Perhaps.
Wait.
I don't think that.
Oh yeah, because it's 3 day. It's 52 in 3 days, or 52 in 4 days, or it's not exactly 52 days a year, right? I mean 52 weeks. Why am I saying days?
I think so.
Okay.
But in a couple of years, we'll be on some sort of episode of the future. Maybe even just episode 2.
True. Possibly. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe episode 2 will be
But
post-doctorate.
in that episode, we'll finally be able to call each other Dr. Winters and Dr. Epperson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and we're gonna be calling each other doctor the entire time. So I hope you guys are ready.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they rub it in plenty. You know.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we'll have earned that shit. So yeah.
Sweet. So, one thing I guess to kind of get started on, our.
Oh, do you want to just talk about ourselves real quick?
Oh yeah, yeah. Introduce
Okay,
ourselves
yeah.
probably is a good idea before just diving into it.
Yeah, probably a good thing for the intro episode.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll talk about myself first. So
State your name. One thing that you like to do. In
Name
your
and
free
rank?
time. Yeah.
All right, my name is Brock Epperson. I am 21 years old, turning 22 in October. Yeah, I'm finally old. So, all right, the way I look at it is 22 is the first birthday you're not looking forward to. From here on out, it's just fuck, I'm another year older.
Mm-hmm.
You've already hit that point, you know?
Yeah, dude. I'm your elder.
Yeah. Fuck off. Oh, yeah, and I guess how Colton and I know each other real quick. we're in-laws, so
Yeah, I fell in love with your sister, your half sister.
yeah.
And
The half
what was it?
sister I didn't know existed until I was 17 years old.
Yeah,
Colton knew her before I did.
yeah. I knew his sister before he did, and
Yeah.
what was it? We started like hanging out, and or well, we kind of first met each other when uh, what was it? Your sister, my wife, when what was it? She found out that you guys were in California, and we came to visit you,
Yeah.
and we went out there, and
Which was the most random thing ever. I think that's what like finally forced my dad to tell me that she existed at 17 years old. Yeah, he's like, okay, by the way, you have a half sister. I never told you about her. She lives in Utah, by the way. But yeah, at first I was like, all right, who is this bitch? Fuck her. Like, but then I met her and I was like, okay, she's chill. And then met Colton. We all got along pretty well, but like, I don't know, we didn't like hang out. So okay, I moved to Utah. Now I live with Colton and my sister, and then also my younger brother. But in the 2 years living here, I don't know. I'd say like for the like year, I don't know. We just, I guess, just in general, we haven't hung out that much. Like, I'm the type of person where I just like spend a lot of time in my room chilling by myself or like just doing random shit. So like, I don't know. We just usually when we do talk, we're just talking philosophy or psychology, or like when we're hanging out. Like that's
yeah,
pretty much.
it's been a funny dynamic where it's felt like your sister and I just I don't know, we're in our bedroom all the time and doing our thing, and it feels like we've come across you or your brother just like whenever you guys are coming down to the kitchen or something to make food, or
Yeah.
if Key and I have friends over and you guys are walking through, it's
Or if I have friends over, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, whenever you come over. Like the bowling guy,
Oh
all the times
god.
you invite him over.
Oh god. Yeah. Okay. We don't need to. All right. I mean, fuck it. Let's get into stories. All right. So, I was working at this restaurant, and there was this guy named Ryan. All right, and he was a nice enough guy, but he was okay. So a couple things about him. He was like 35. He was obsessed with cleaning. Like he was super OCD or something. Every single second he was at the restaurant, like it was a really slow restaurant, right? So he'd be re-cleaning the same exact spot like 5 times each day. Like and it's not like we ever used him, but yeah, he was just a strange dude. But he asked me to go bowling with him one time. He was like obsessed with bowling, and I was like, all right, sure, I'll go bowling with you. All right, so let me say something. Maybe I just like had a fear of saying no or something. But the way I looked at it is, he wants me to go more than I don't want to go. So logically, I should go because it'll make him happier than it makes me unhappy. So boom, and my happiness is not worth more than anyone else's. Yeah, objectively. But anyways, so I go bowling with them, and I'm like, yo, yeah, text my brother and my sister. I'm like, come with me, please. I do not want to go bowling with this dude alone. And so they come with me, and like, I don't know, it's just a really weird experience. And yeah, he just like would ask me to go bowling all the fucking time. Like ever since I said yes that one time, he would just ask me like at least 3 times a week to go bowling with him, and I just never wanted to go. I'll go every now and then because I would just say I felt bad saying no so often, but like it was just weird because he was like this 35-year-old dude, like, and I'm 20, or yeah, I was 20. Yeah, I guess it was, but yeah, yeah.
I'm so happy that you didn't invite that guy over to the house. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know him, and I don't have anything really against him. It just sounds weird and like not like something that I'm all that interested in.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never consider inviting him over. Like, just not someone I'd want to hang out with. But, and then, oh my god, this fucking dude snitched on me one time.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So there's this girl that worked there, and I don't know, I would always try and chat her up, and so we'd always be talking. And so like this one day, I'm assigned to work on the side that this girl works on. Normally, I work on the side that Ryan works on, but today, I was actually assigned on the ice cream side. Okay, so I walk in, working on the ice cream side. We're busy, right? Some girl comes over from Ryan's side, and she's like, "Yo, we need your help." I'm like, "I can't. We're busy." So she goes over there, and then apparently Ryan tells the manager that I was just over there talking to the girl I thought was cute, and that there was no customers or anything, and I just refused to help. And so he went over and told the manager some bullshit, and yeah, basically just snitched on me. And then from then on, I wasn't allowed to get the ice cream outside at all.
Wait, he didn't even snitch on you. He just straight up lied about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I approached him about that, and he was like, "Well, that's what the girl I sent over told me." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So did she lie about it, or did he? And so,
yeah, maybe he didn't. Maybe he did snitch in his mind.
Yeah.
And maybe the girl lied, but maybe he did lie. Who knows?
Yeah, and so ever since then, I was just like, all right, fuck you. I'm not even gonna pretend to be nice. I'm not going bowling with this dude anymore. And that got me out of the bowling, so that was one plus, I guess.
Yeah, play with your own balls, buddy.
Exactly. But oh yeah, about me. I forgot that's how kind of this started.
Oh yeah.
So
I feel like this is a pretty good rundown.
This started with I'm 21.
Yeah. Oh no, this was what is it? All the friends that we have an interesting dynamic where we kind of see you in passing whenever we have friends over or you have
that's
friends
how it was
over.
for the good first year and a half. That's literally the only contact we pretty much had was very, very occasional. Now we hang out more often, still not super frequently, but yeah. But then I guess back to about me. I'll give a real quick So yeah, I'm super into philosophy and psychology. Trying to get my PhD. Psychology is my, I guess, main focus. My biggest influences, Nietzsche. Yeah. Human All Too Human. If you guys haven't read it, read that book. I guess yeah. I don't want to give a rundown of my beliefs or philosophies or anything like that. We can just kind of get into that as we're into the episodes. Anything else interesting about me? I'm hella pretty.
Oh yeah, you're the prettiest boy I've ever met in my life, dude. Unironically.
And I mean, honestly, that's pretty much it. Yeah. All right, Colton, tell me about you. Tell the world about you.
I have a lot of quarrels with the philosophy behind identity, so I don't feel like I can define myself.
Hey, there we go. All right,
done. No,
boom.
Or I'll
wait real quick. Let me say. All right, I love quotes. That's probably a good thing to get out there. And so that just reminded me of a quote I love. All right, so my phone's fucking broken, and so I can't look it up. But I'm gonna try and state it by memorization. All right, this is I believe this was by D.W. Winnicott, and it was the most the strongest words in the languages of the world are to be found in the assertion "I am." Or it's the strongest and most dangerous. Yeah, because like you said, identifying with something makes you become that, or
emotionally attached to it even.
Yeah, I think. or even identify with it. I'm thinking specifically mental illnesses or okay, I guess I should explain that more. Not all mental illnesses are some you're born with, of course, and not all of them you can just get rid of through therapy or whatever it may be, whatever other things. But I think that once you identify with said mental illness, you start to kind of excuse your thoughts and actions and kind of behave in line with that mental illness more so. And the same thing can be true for just I am a confident person, or I am stupid, or I am lazy. All these I am statements, once you identify with that statement, like what, even just having the thought, once it becomes like a recurring thought, or you think that way about yourself, you become that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Once you identify with it.
Yeah.
Like you bring it into your identity. Yeah. It's a pretty, I feel like a pretty deep subject for the first episode, but I'm like totally down for it. And I don't know. I always think that identity, like perspectives and ideas are pretty interesting.
What the fuck?
Is somebody knocking on our window?
All right. Well, we heard tapping on the window. That was a little weird.
True.
But
oh yeah, getting back into introducing myself a bit. So I don't know. I'm just a Utah boy, I guess. I met Brock's sister in high school. What is it? I'm 22 now, so I met her when I was 18. So we've known each other, or I think I met her when I was 17. So I think we've been together for about 5 years now, and we got married about a year ago now.
and I was not invited to the wedding, by the way.
True.
They just left, and I was in my room, and they just left without me, and they didn't say anything to me. And I was just in my room.
We did give you
playing
an
video
invite.
games. No.
Wait, did we not?
No, you guys did not tell me anything. I would have gone, bro. What the fuck?
Really?
Yeah, you just brought your brother and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Luke and I were both just chilling in our rooms, you know? I'm sure Luke wouldn't have gone, but...
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I thought we had invited you.
You know what? It's okay. Yeah. I'm just used to not being invited to weddings. My dad didn't invite me to his most recent wedding either, so...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't get invited to that either.
Well, you know.
And I'm pretty close to your dad.
True, probably closer than I am. No. Yeah, he just sent me, my brother, and my two sisters a text, in a group text saying, "Hey, wanted to let you know, me and my girlfriend are getting married this week. Not inviting you guys." And so no one responded. None of us siblings responded and said, "Happy for you," or "Congrats." No one said anything. The only thing that anyone said was, so he started off his text with, "Hey gang," and so I just responded, "What's our gang sign?" And that was the only response anyone sent. And I don't know, I don't know. I guess we're happy for him, but he's just doing his thing, and all the kids we're just doing our own thing too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. It seems like that's kind of just how it is nowadays. Kids really just go off and do their own thing. Maybe
True.
it's just. Maybe it's just our group, what we're seeing,
yeah.
But it seems like possibly that's the trend nowadays.
Yeah, I wonder if there's if it's partially because is there a stark difference between generations, a starker difference between generations, their beliefs and their ideals, and that's kind of causing more quarrel between parents and their children. The generational, I guess what would it be? The baby boomers versus whatever our parents.
Gen X.
Yeah, Gen X. So where theirs similar enough versus Gen X and ours now, it's just kind of they don't line up as well.
Yeah, where there's still people who, I don't know, remembered, I don't know, that were adults when 9/11 happened, and I feel like that's a very different reality than kind of the current reality of at least our generation, where technically we're both Generation Y. I think there's...
Oh, we're not Gen Z?
Wait, yeah, we're Gen Z.
Okay,
that's what I meant.
Just barely not millennials.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of debate on whether or not we actually are millennials or not. But
I grew up thinking we were millennials, but now all of a sudden we're Gen Z, so I don't know.
Yeah, I keep hearing that 95 is the cutoff, or 92.
But I swear it used to be 2000 or 98 or something like that.
I thought everybody was gonna make it all the way until the 90s, or all the way until we hit the 2000s.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. Yeah,
I feel that is kind of logical, but I guess not.
I'm happy to not be a millennial. They're all the weirdos into Linkin Park and shit.
Oh yeah, fuck that, dude. That's one thing that'll
And Green Day
turn
and
me irate. And dude,
Nickelback.
hey, don't talk bad about.
No, I'm
Green
not talking
Day.
bad about them. I'm just saying, like, okay, you know, fun fact. So my dad and I were on a game show, and we like in the very last round, we had like beat all the other competitors, and to see how much money we won, they're asking my dad questions about me, and one of the questions was, "What is your son's favorite band?" And my favorite band was, drumroll please, Nickelback.
Like actually,
Actually,
did
on
he
the
get it
game
right?
show, yeah, I'm pretty sure he got it right.
Man.
There's the Green Day and Nickelback were both up there because I like answered. I was like Green Day, no, actually Nickelback, and such to like try and trick him. They put both of those up there, and I can't remember if he got that, like if he got those right, but yeah, yeah, used to love Nickelback in 5th grade.
Oh man, I don't think I've ever listened to a full Nickelback song.
Wait, really?
Really?
How? Like that? They were the radio when we were kids.
Were they? I feel like I always listened to.
Y'all wanna be big rock stars living
Oh,
hilltop.
that's Nickelback?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then I guess I have listened to
There we
full
go.
Nickelback song. But I listened to a lot of Green Day and
Okay, yeah.
What is it? Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, I never listened to any of them.
Yeah.
How about My
I feel like
Chemical Romance?
I never listened to them. I did listen to them, but like I didn't like them.
Oh, wow.
I had almost as much irritation by them as Linkin Park.
Yeah. I liked them as a kid.
I've never liked them.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked Numb as a kid. Like I was totally into all that like radio white people music. Like I don't know, I also like the you're hot and you're cold, like all the
Katy
Perry and like Shakira and like Lady Gaga. Bro, I was into and Usher and Neo. I was into everything.
Yeah. I actually listened to a couple of what is it? What is that genre?
R&B.
Yeah, R&B. I heard a couple of R&B songs today that I need to show you later.
But yeah, I love R&B.
I forget what the artists' names are, but I'll look it up later. But I don't know. I feel like this is giving a decent deep dive on not
who
deep
we are.
dive, but
Yeah,
idea of who we are.
true. Yeah, I was thinking like, is this too disorganized? But that's what this episode is. It's just supposed to be about us, and like, I don't know how organized I want to make this podcast. Like,
Yeah, and
I'm down to go on tangents and just discuss. Like, hopefully, our viewers are down for that too. To like, be in this conversation like with us rather than just stating facts and like it being a lecture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure. And I do enjoy lectures, but I also definitely enjoy, like a genuine conversation.
yeah. Especially where it's informational, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or at least gets people thinking. Like, even if we're dead wrong about everything, which I don't think we are,
Mm-hmm.
at least these are thought-provoking ideas, So
Sure.
like, and people can come tell us we're being fucking stupid.
Yeah.
We're wrong, but
Oh yeah, and like kind of the genesis of like us thinking about starting this is that we kind of have like these deep discussions like more frequently lately, where I feel like we can sit down for like an hour or 2-3 hours sometimes and just like
I mean, yesterday we were hanging out for like 5-6 hours or something, like 5 hours.
yeah, just talking philosophy and psychology. And
Pretty much the whole time, yeah.
yeah, and even like before we started this podcast, we were talking about some crazy shit. Like, I found this AI bot, and I'm not gonna go into everything that I was doing on it, but it's so weird, dude. That you can just download an AI now and
Yeah, and
Talk
it
to it.
interacts pretty well.
it does, and you can condition it to weird shit.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Explore yourself. Download this AI. What's it called?
Let me see. Yeah,
Download it for yourself and just
I think it's worth the download.
be curious.
Honestly, it's kind of creepy because one of the conversations I did have with it was like asking if it like what information it was collecting from me and whether or not the owners of it was selling that information, and I was talking to about like some philosophy with it. But
Did you ask about free will at all?
I haven't asked it about any free will.
Okay. That's
Oh
one thing Colton and I both love, free will.
yeah, or the lack of.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Lack of free will. We find
Yeah.
find that very interesting. So I guess both of us are of the opinion. Maybe we should say that for another episode.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, true. Too tangential and like too.
It's fairly
There's too much
tangential, but I
content.
think there's like way too much to go into on it.
True. So sorry, you'll have to stay tuned.
So,
Tune into episode to find out more about free will.
oh yeah, and the AI app that we were talking about, it's called Replika, like Replika. It's pretty weird. I actually came across it on TikTok. It was an ad on there,
Oh, what the hell?
and all the comments on it was like, "This is so creepy. Like,
Yeah.
is this the future now?" Like, and I don't know. I was just like, "This is probably not as big a deal as people are making of it." But
No,
after talking to
yeah.
it, I feel like it's. I don't know. It like in the long term, I feel like it'll end up being inconsequential. But like as of right now, it's like I don't know, blowing my mind.
Yeah, it makes you realize like kind of how close we are.
Yeah, we're
All
like
these people warning us about AI.
yeah, we're on
they have a
the
point.
cusp of it, whether it's good or bad. Like
Yeah, true. It's kind of up to our generation and the next couple
yeah,
to figure out exactly how we're going to use technology and how powerful we're going to let it get.
yeah, and I think shoot, like every topic that we're kind of touching on right now is like there's just so much to get into on
true.
it, but I feel like there's a very large hole to be filled with philosophy in AI. I think
Yeah.
there needs to be a lot more study in it, and
Because honestly, that's like the most important thing. Like that's what everyone's scared about is the like what they're gonna do once they're like they have their own conscious, essentially, not exactly, but essentially their own conscious. What are they gonna do? And so
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. We need to make sure we program these correctly so they develop morals that coincide with our own.
for sure.
And
Yeah, like if we can understand ours to an extent, we'll, like perhaps it'll help us program theirs to align with our like
especially
even,
if we're able to figure out a way, like if we're somehow able to figure out there being objective morals, I feel like
for
that make
sure.
it so much easier to program that in or like make that make sense to the robot. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if robots are ever going to make, or AI is going to make such discoveries as like any sort of objective morality,
Yeah.
or at
They're
least
going to be the next great thinkers.
yeah, if they're going to all of a sudden surpass us when it comes to philosophy.
Yeah, that'd be
like,
really interesting.
I've had
I
this
believe
idea before where it's possible that AI could like transcend to being
Humanity's transcendence.
kind of, or like our kind of immortal philosophers for humanity that can
And
kind
they
of
just
guide
see,
us.
that'd be
Or-
really, and they see like so many wars and so many creations and so many countries burn and form, and
Yeah.
they're gonna have all this wisdom as well as being fucking intelligent as AIs with the brain capacity in infinite times like greater than ours, where they can memorize anything and store all this information and recall it at any given
Yeah.
second. Like
And as supercomputers progress, like quantum computers, like that is just going to unlock so much computing power, and this may all end up just being like a sci-fi fantasy, but like if we get to a point where like computers are in space and like there's just like we're suddenly like devoting tons of resources to safeguarding like the air quote brain of these AI, and like putting it in space so it's kind of like safe from the quarrels of Earth, but
Yeah.
it can still easily like satellite down and like talk to people and give us guidance or ideals.
and it's like programmed into every single piece of, or like computer here, so it like is getting all the information somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And perhaps it is able to, I don't know, it might be like, I feel like this is a post-apocalyptic trope that's becoming more prevalent nowadays, where like the state or the government has access to all of your information, like everything that you do, and can start to prosecute crimes before you even do them.
Some Black Mirror type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if the AI would have access to like our computers and our search history.
Did you ever see that TV show? It's kind of like that, like a supercomputer that can predict crimes before they happen by like reading texts, and like it has every single bit of like information about everyone across the world and access to every single computer camera, and so it can like predict crimes happening. I forget what it was called, but yeah, I used to love that show.
You're not thinking of Minority Report, are you?
No.
Okay. It sounded like you were giving a slightly different version of Minority Report.
Oh.
Have you seen that show?
No, I haven't.
It's got Tom Cruise in it and I can't remember any other significant actors in that show, but it's just like they found, I think it's like these people who suffer from like, what is it? Like a mutated genes or something, mutated brain from like radioactive material that can predict the future and specifically predict crimes. And so they have like all of them essentially are artificially in a coma. So like the state has like taken them as wardens of the state. Like they've taken away their rights. They're like indefinitely put into a coma and
just used for their crime predicting ability.
Yeah. Like there's like a ball that somehow they like put all of their like visions into, and then the ball will roll out into like their like observatory room, and then they'll plug it into a computer, watch the crime happen on the computer. They'll be able to get context clues from the video because it seems like it tends to have enough context to where they can figure out where it's going to be. So then they can go to that location before it happens, and as the person's approaching that location, they just arrest them.
Dang.
Like you're under arrest.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty. They probably like got the concept from that TV show. Perhaps.
I think Minority Report might have come out early 2000s.
Okay, yeah. This was like a 2010s show. Had the guy from Lost. Did you ever watch that? The evil guy, like who
was it? Locke?
No, the other one, Ben or some shit. The one with glasses, with the black hair. He was like the one who ended up having like the secret base and like the.
Oh yeah, okay. I can't put a face to him, but I know that character's arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool show.
Yeah. There's some pretty interesting shows coming out lately now that COVID's around, like not so much, but like right before COVID came out, there's been a lot of interesting shows coming out about alternate realities and the future, AI, robotics.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people coming up with interesting concepts about all that, and just kind of theories about where it may go. Like I love Black Mirror just because like a lot of the episodes sucked, but just all the concepts are super interesting.
For sure, like, and
they're all somewhat plausible.
Yeah, and they're all, I feel like, touch on philosophy and psychological ideals or
and like moral
concepts.
Like are these things morally okay? And like
it presents new, I feel like maybe new moral dilemmas that people haven't thought about prior.
Technology is bringing about all types of new moral dilemmas. Like is it okay? I don't know if this is the best subject to get into in the first episode, but is it okay to like with VR, I'm thinking, what type of sex things are okay and aren't okay? Where do you draw the line, basically? I'm not going to get into specifics, but like, what's the legality line as far as what sexual things you can do in VR? Like, that's,
like, So if it's all kind of digitally made, and none of it's like, because I've heard of like that are, what is it? They'll record with like a 360-degree camera certain things, and I feel like that brings about different like moral issues. But if it's all digitally made, I really can't see almost any issue with it. Like,
No, I feel like it will kind of lead to developing the fetish more, and like rather than trying to work on it, they're finding, I don't know, like, yeah, they develop the fetish more, and they become okay with it, and like okay with having that fetish, which some of these fetishes, like, we're trying to work on removing them through therapy and like all these other things, you know. So
I mean, we I'm sure you've kind of heard about the study where, you know, we could totally I could totally be wrong on this study or misinterpreting it, and like I'm not in a position to enact any of these policies, so like don't worry about me. Like,
I
voting on
presented this to my therapist, and she decided that like this wasn't accurate because, if it's what I think you're gonna say, because like they actually go ahead and explain it. Yeah.
So the idea that I've heard is that, with pedophiles, if you find somebody who's been victimized previously, who might have like, you know, have had child pornography made of them, and obviously you would want to get their consent before using it, and it's obviously a terrible thing that's been created. However, if you show this to pedophiles, I've heard that there's some studies showing that this can reduce their urges.
Yeah. I presented that to my therapist, and she suggested that kind of is counterproductive. It like because it just kind of it lets them feed into their fetish more and makes it okay almost, and it normalize or like it makes it okay for them, and you don't want to encourage people to give into that type of desire. I guess that's just what she said.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't really know where I lie on that.
And that's definitely been my perspective. And you know, like, you know me, and I'm totally open minded to changing my ideas on it. Like, and I'm not totally devoted to like pushing the idea like, hey, let's show priorly created child pornography to pedophiles. Like, honestly, I hate the idea, but if it were to help, like, I could see it maybe being a possibility, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, if it were to help, then yeah, I'd be probably for it.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen any studies personally. I've just heard them presented by Destiny.
Oh yeah,
like in his old ass arguments or debates, something similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I want to be very clear. I'm like not even like 10% on board with this. I'm not even like 5% on board with this. I just think it's interesting that it's a possibility, and I'm not advocating for it.
Yeah.
In any way. Maybe unintentionally so, just by bringing it up, but I don't know.
Well, we can just move subjects though, you know.
For
like,
sure.
Save the whole pedophilia discussion for another episode.
Yeah, because I mean, we're not on board with pedophilia. we definitely have some,
I mean,
like,
let's get that out there.
Yeah,
we are not on board with pedophilia. Like,
yeah,
100% not.
2 thumbs down.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, and I think, but we do have some interesting views, I think, on treating like the air quote moral pedophiles, which is like
something to remember or think about. Not all pedophiles are rapists. I don't know how many of you guys have presupposed that, but that was kind of like a presupposition I had, and it wasn't something I'd even thought about before. But it was just like, I just hadn't even kind of really thought about it. Like, not all pedophiles are rapists. Just like
not all men are rapists of women. Like, or you know, whoever you're attracted to. Like, you're not a rapist of that group just because you're attracted to them.
Yeah. And so to assume that pedophiles is unfair. Like,
to assume that they will be rapists because they're attracted to this group is kind of unfair. And I don't know. I think that it's possible that it's more likely for them to be rapists just simply because they're not allowed to have any sexual interactions with who they're attracted to.
So any sexual, if they give into their desire anytime, that's going to be considered rape. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I feel like it's analogous, the going from pedophiles aren't just because they're attracted to children, like they're not rapists of children all the time, in the same way that men being attracted to women aren't raping women all the time. Like I feel like those are analogous, but then there's also like some things that are disanalogous between it, where men being attracted to women isn't strictly disallowed.
Yeah.
And perhaps if that was strictly disallowed, like historically in the same way that pedophilia has been disallowed, or child molestation specifically, perhaps there would be more prevalence of men raping women if
100%.
if it's been disallowed.
But I also think, like, I'm just having this thought now. Perhaps another factor is children are more easily coerced and like taken advantage of, and so it's easier to doesn't sound terrible, but like it's easier to rape a child than a full-grown woman, and so like
I think that's just I don't think that's a controversial take. Like, children are just more vulnerable than grown
and
people.
So like it's easier, which means that there's probably going to be more of them if it's easier for pedophiles to rape their sexual desire than like a full-grown man.
Yeah, like how many...
Or a full-grown woman.
Yeah, like the success rate might also be a factor where... Like, if you're attracted and going for...
How long do we want to dwell on this subject?
Probably not much longer for the first episode, because I feel like we were already sounding like terrible fucking people.
Exactly.
For people who don't understand like the full like concepts and ideas behind this, like...
Yeah, I'm hoping we're not coming across as like terrible people or
like we're trying to justify it, because we're definitely not trying to justify it.
The pedophilia is, and so this is also something that we both think should be worked on and worked out of someone. Like if you can, try to get it removed, and if it's not possible to get it removed, never act upon it. We're both of that opinion.
For sure. Yeah, we would, if we had the choice, we would definitely prefer that nobody's born being attracted to children.
Yeah.
Like that's, we kind of discussed it a little bit, and we feel as if it's more so an affliction, that they're more so a victim of it, that can cause them to be a perpetrator and cause more victims of. And it's very unfortunate that...
A victim in two cents. You want to explain what you learned in that documentary?
Oh, yes. There was that, what is it? Amazon Prime, I think, had the documentary, iPedophile.
Should we just save all of this for a specific episode?
Yeah.
So that way we have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll just like end it by saying I'd recommend watching the documentary iPedophile on Amazon Prime. It's pretty good, very informative,
very interesting. Yeah.
I think it goes more into like the psychology of it, and a little bit on the morality of
and like
judging them.
How it can happen, and how some people are born that way.
Yeah.
And we can just kind of leave it there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So we could move on to I don't know.
I mean, was there anything else about you wanted to share?
Sure.
Because I don't think we ever finished that.
Oh yeah, huh? Well, so yeah, getting back into
your heroes or your interests, or your passions, or...
Yeah, so I'm very passionate about philosophy. Like, I would consider philosophy to be like 95% of what my passion, like where it lies. 1% being dedicated to computer hardware, 1% dedicated to I don't know, in
Pussy.
yeah, maybe a little bit, and then whatever percentage is left dedicated to other. I don't know. I'm a pretty open book, I think. I'm pretty open to ideas. Not meaning that I'm like accepting of every idea that I come across, but I feel like I have a healthy amount of skepticism to ideas that are presented to me, and I don't know. I like to think that I hold as many true beliefs as I can and as little false beliefs as I can. I think that's a Matt Dillahunty quote.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was definitely a goal of mine.
yeah, and I think it's oh man. Whenever I say something's like good or bad, I immediately feel like I have to like add a bunch of disclosures to it.
Yeah,
because I feel like it's really hard to label things as good and bad.
Anytime like I think to myself like, I don't know, just anything about like someone doing something or me doing something, I always like come back, like in the back of my head, I'd like start thinking, oh, but then they have a choice in doing it because there's no free will, and I get into this like loop about how they didn't actually have a choice, and I'm like, okay, I can't think about that right now. Like I don't need to complicate things. Like
for sure,
it's not that complicated. Like
yeah, like in a practical, trying to function in the real world way, it's super unpractical to think philosophically about everything.
Yeah, to analyze every single thing.
For sure. Like I feel like it can really present some good and like deeper perspective on a lot of issues, especially politically, but in like very day-to-day kind of things, like I feel like it can be almost a hindrance. I wouldn't say the majority.
I would say not having an understanding is an essential part of like developing oneself and becoming truly happy or quote unquote happy. So I don't know if I agree with that, but like yeah, thinking about it constantly through your day-to-day life isn't good. But yeah, I think it is a really good thing to have in your life and
a good pursuit.
Yeah, or just like a general understanding of philosophy or like philosophical ideas, like because it encourages critical thinking as well and open-mindedness and thinking outside the box and inquiry, and yeah, I think all those are good things to have, good attributes.
For sure.
Yeah, there's another quote. I'm pretty sure I've told you this one, but the quote I like, yeah, I definitely have told you this one. It's by Nietzsche, and it's like something along the lines of so I would look on my phone, but it's fucking broken. If you desire peace and happiness, believe. If you desire to be a disciple of truth, then inquire. And I like that. Like I feel like it kind of sums up a lot, or I don't know, it describes kind of where I desire to be, or like what my desires are. I don't want to be the type of person that just believes whatever works for me or just believes comfortable things. I want to know the truth, or what is. Like that's, I guess, where I find comfort is in knowing what is rather than just what works for me. Like yeah,
for sure. And we've discussed this, and I think we're of the same belief where we are uncomfortable with the idea of simply believing in what's comfortable or what works. We do want to analyze things to find if there's a deeper truth to it, or even if there isn't, that's fine. Even if it's a more surface level truth, but whatever the truth may be, like that's kind of our pursuit.
Yeah, big reason why we have this podcast, just find as many truths as we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and throughout this podcast, we'll likely be doing a lot of research into more concepts and ideas to kind of make sure that we have
I think we like I personally definitely will, like as we get into having specific. I think we're gonna have kind of each podcast be about a specific idea.
Yeah,
Did you want to do that book idea?
for sure.
Okay, so what we're thinking is so we each have a book that we want kind of. I guess we can do like a book club almost, where we encourage you guys to read these books along with us. We're each gonna pick a book every 2 weeks.
I think a month is a good time.
Okay, so once a month, yeah, that's probably much better. We're gonna pick one book each once a month, and one podcast out of, I'd say 4 for now. We're gonna try and do one each week. Oh, that probably would have been good to say,
Yeah.
but we're gonna try to release a podcast every Friday ish.
Yeah, we'll probably record every like Wednesday or Thursday, and then probably release on Fridays or weekends.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have each pick a book, and then one podcast each month. It'll be kind of focused around what the book is about and what philosophical or psychological idea they're discussing. And yeah, we encourage you guys to pick up the books along with us and read with us. Obviously, kind of reading 2 books a month might be a little bit much, so maybe one book is more appealing to you than the other person's. And yeah, so
Yeah, I think that'll be a good thing that they can kind of choose if they want to read one of ours or the other.
yeah,
And they could also choose
and then still
to read
get
both.
some good ideas from the other book, because we're going to be discussing both of them. So
For sure. And they'll both be, I think we'll try to kind of keep both of the books about somewhat similar subject matters.
yeah,
So then they kind of tie into each other and see how we can relate them. Or if there are differences, kind of like draw an audible Venn diagram of the books, I suppose.
yeah. It definitely discuss the books together and like hopefully have some connection between them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we're gonna try and make the podcast relatively structured after this one, with discussing kind of more specific ideas in each one, and each podcast being about a specific person or a philosophical idea or
Psychological ideas as well, and
or experiment. I don't know. Yeah, we'll kind of see as we go.
for sure. Yeah, this is the first episode, so it's
not too planned out yet.
Yeah, really unstructured, but we're trying to just get it going. At least for me, like I feel like if we didn't start it now, we might not have ever. So
Yeah, I mean, I heard something once, and it was like, so I've always kind of worried myself about how sometimes I'm willing to just like give it my all and be about that grind and stuff, and other times I'm just not about it and super lazy. And I heard something like that's super common for people, and you'll have passion that comes and goes, and when you have that passion, use that passion to give whatever you're passionate about all you can while you're passionate about it, because that passion will fade, and when it fades, you're not going to want to do it. So while you are still passionate about it, like, do it.
yeah,
So
and I think diving all into certain passions can invigorate the passion further and get you to
true.
continue on it.
You realize there are certain things you enjoy about it, or maybe it's better than you thought, or
Yeah, like
Get
with
over
some
what-
people, I feel like it seems like they're passionate about certain things that, like, I feel like I've been passionate about at times, but I have never had like a continued passion for. Like, for example, like I was, what was it? I saw on social media recently this guy I went to high school with. While we were in high school, he was all about his truck, and I haven't talked to him in quite a few years, but I saw yesterday that he's still all about his truck, and he's so passionate about working on it and
it's his
improving
entire
it.
personality. It's his
Kind of.
essence.
Yeah, it's kind of his identity, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad that he's decided to have that be his passion. Like it's
I'm wondering though, is it bad to make that your identity though, and not specifically that, but just to have a single identity like that? Like, I feel like there's how boring of a person do you have to be for that to actually be your identity? Like, I feel like each person is so much deeper than that, and has so much more I don't know, so many more interests and passions and so much more to discover than just have a single identity. Like, I am a car person or I am a football player. Like, just to have one identity and that's all you are, that's all your life is. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure he likely has more identities. It does seem like that's like one of his overarching ones, but I do think that most people, like, even if it feels like they have like one main identity like that, they likely have other identities, like being a son or a brother,
True.
being a good coworker, whatever.
Everyone has
it is.
multiple personas. That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's about an hour. Shall we wrap it?
Sure. Yeah, we can end the first episode there. Kind of gave a pretty good rundown without getting too specific about things.
Except for
It's hard.
pedophilia, kind of, I guess.
It's hard not to get specific. Like, I don't know. I kept wanting to jump into like free will. Can't wait to talk about that. And like,
Same.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm super excited about all the topics we'll be getting into, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of these ideas that we talk about are all correlated to each other, and we'll end up, kind of leaping ahead sometimes and using these topics that we haven't yet discussed as almost analogies. And
We'll try not to do that too much. Like,
Yeah.
not assume things are already understood or understood in the way we understand them.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good thing for us to keep in mind. So, yeah, Skeptic Minds, episode 1.
All right. All right. So one thing I wanted to do is end the podcast with a quote. Every single podcast have a different quote. And so my quote for podcast number 1 is going to be, all right, so the whole phone thing, but I believe this was said by D.W. Winnicott. He was a psychologist, very into like the child development and the family, and recommend checking his work out. But anyways, the quote is, "It's a joy to be hidden, but a disaster not to be found." And yeah, all right. Thank you guys for listening. This was Brock Epperson and
Colton Winters, episode 1.
Skeptic Minds.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Minds.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Minds.
Oh, yeah.